Gentlemen, coming to you live from an undisclosed location in Los Angeles, California, this is
Commercial King.
Thank you for joining us. This is indeed live. What we mean by live is that it's living and that it's active.
You see what happened
and
there?
It's interactive.
You know what just happened?
I don't know what happened. You held out a note for a long time.
No, what was happening when my voice caused this tennis ball to begin orbiting your head?
Let me hold this. You need to focus. Okay, here's the deal, people. I want to thank you for joining us. It's another fun-filled half hour plus of RhettandLink Commercial Kings Live, where you tune into IFC and watch the encore episode of last week's premiere episode. So it's the second week you've seen it on television, but it's the first week that you get to watch it with us on your laptop.
So go over to, well, you're already there.
Go over to where?
I was going to tell them to go over to youtube.com/RhettandLink.
Let me help you out here.
But that's where they're at.
Go over to where you're at,
Ask
people.
us questions in the chat, but also if you're over on Twitter is what I was actually going to say. You can also ask us questions with #CommercialKings.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So we'll be reading the chat and we'll be watching episode. What was this? Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
The Spot Hair Studio.
San Bernardino, California. Troy Ballard is the owner and operator of The Spot, which he changed the name of it to Troy Spot. We didn't know that until we got there. So right off the bat, we got a marketing challenge that the guy's changing the name of his business. And actually, you know, you can still see that it says The Spot everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere. In fact,
but then
in this shot right here.
You look on another wall and it says Troy Spot. So it's almost like he's just saying, I'm just adding names to my business. Like when you buy different URLs, like we bought RhettandLink.com, and then we bought like linkisawesome.com, and we bought like Rhett is almost as awesome, but not quite as awesome.com.
Well, speaking of me being awesome, I will happen to say that I haven't had a lot of professional hair opinions about my hair in the past, but I will say that the very first time I met Troy here in this episode, a professional hairstylist, he said, I like your hair. I do not recall him saying that about you. He said you look like Justin Bieber.
It's because I wasn't doing this. He did say I had a Bieber thing going.
Well, you do, because you're boyish and effeminate. But like it's okay. It's, you know, everybody knows that, and everybody likes that about you.
I'm not going to take that.
They like that about you, Link. That's a positive.
I'll take the second part, but I won't take the first part. Hold on. Which part is the effeminate part? Because that's the part I don't want to take.
Sonic Stockmar says, I was just wanting to check out this channel, and they happen to be live. What the heck? Life is weird. It's crazy. Thanks for stopping in. And yes, we do this every single week, every Friday.
Life is like a box of explosives.
Yeah, or tennis balls that
you never know if
orbit your head.
If it's going to injure you or maim you or even kill you.
What we do is we sit around and we watch our own television show. I mean, that's basically this is, people.
It's pretty freaking pathetic.
You know?
Somebody's got to watch it,
We
right?
love it. We watch it every week. We watch it when it comes on at 10 o'clock, and then we come on here at 10:30, and we watch last week's episode, and we talk about it, and things begin to spontaneously orbit around our heads.
If you could choose to have tennis balls orbit around your head like a moon rotates around a planet, would you do it just for what it would do in like party situations?
Of course. Oh, yeah.
But then one day it's just going to turn on you.
This is a key moment in the episode. When we go into a situation, we want to find out what is the key marketing challenge that a business has, because we're coming in there not just to make some crazy commercial and have a good time. We are there to do that, but we are there to meet a specific marketing challenge. And the one that Troy, he really threw out the gauntlet. He said,
you throw down a gauntlet and you throw out like an idea.
In France, they throw it down. In Spain, they throw it out.
Well, we're in the United States, Rhett.
Well, I don't know what they do. I don't think they have gauntlets in America.
What is wasn't that like a video game?
It's like a guillotine. Anyway, he said, I would like to reach white people. I have a lot of black people who come into my hair studio. He calls it a hair studio, not a hair salon.
Right. It's like a recording studio for hair.
Well, it makes it sound more creative, at least. And he says, I want to reach white people. Now, this is something that we have tried before. In fact, Link has T-shirt level evidence of the fact that we have tried to take on race in a commercial before. And the commercial was so successful that we had T-shirts made.
And when you wear the shirt, then you can do this. but you shouldn't.
That's scary.
You shouldn't.
And now, as you're seeing here, as Link is being massaged by this woman, for those of you who are not watching IFC, you're really missing it. You should be watching it right now.
Wow.
A boyish man is being massaged by a woman. It doesn't get any better than that, people.
If I'm boyish, then you're ogreish.
I'll be whatever you need me to be. You know what? I'm just fulfilling my half here.
All we want to do is reach white people.
I am getting my nails done now, though. So.
I mean, in the show, we want to help Troy, so we want to do that. So yeah, talking about effeminate, you're the one getting. Hey, I want to be the one to get my nails done.
Listen, hey, it wasn't my idea.
It was your idea.
Okay, well, it probably was. Now, anyway, see, we are experiencing the business here, and this is why you need to be watching the show. If all you're doing is and now I realize if you're outside of the United States and you don't have the option to watch the show except for when it's posted online in various ways.
At least you're getting this. Yeah, enough said.
You're getting this. But if you have the option of watching the show, and instead you're just watching this, Link is being massaged right now on television.
Well, now I'm getting my hair braided.
But they don't know. They don't know that it was happening.
Into cornrows. Well, if they think it's like 20-minute show of me getting massaged, there's
probably
only a few people who are going to watch that, and I've already courted and married one of them.
Oh, okay. I'm there. I got you. Let's go over to Twitter.
Cara Barra 1018, who of course we know Cara, one of the most mythical of mythical beasts, says she's wearing her Red House T-shirt right now, but hopefully she's not doing this. Don't do that. I do not condone that. I don't even want to do it. I'm just compelled to do it, and I promise I won't do it anymore.
Ghost Colin.
I'm not proud of it.
Which is creepy, because this could be a ghost. This could be the ghost of Colin that has a Twitter account, which he says,
which is fine. That's totally fine.
My first live show I have ever seen on YouTube, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, you'll get tired of it.
And cool. Ghosts are big fans of this live stream. They think it is awesome and cool.
Jake and Shaw Productions asks, how do you make your hair special? Troy, we learned a lot from Troy. You know, he just kind of looks at you, and it's just like he's like, it's like seeing a blank canvas. So ever since we met Troy and made his commercial, I've really looked at my head as kind of a hairy canvas. I mean, if I was bald, it would be more like a blank canvas. How do I make it special? I don't really. I didn't even put any product in it today. It's kind of poofy. Did you notice?
It's a little poofy. I don't mind it though. X the J File says, I love your hair, Rhett. In fact, I tried to get my mom to let me get your haircut. It's not like I have like a mohawk or something. It's not like I've got some sort of punk cut that your mom shouldn't let you get.
But you do.
Moms love this hair.
If you're not 18 years old and you're thinking about getting your hair cut like Rhett's, if you're thinking about getting your hair styled like Rhett's, absolutely, you must ask your parent or guardian. I mean, you should tread lightly on things like this.
This is crazy, rebellious? Man. It's not rebellious.
No, I didn't say it was rebellious. I just said it's odd.
I'll tell you the key to it is as I like to say, pomade. Apparently, you're actually supposed to say pomade.
Pomade.
But I say palmade, like it comes from a palm tree. And it is basically Vaseline, and you just put it in your hair, and your hair does whatever the Vaseline tells it to do.
I've never woken up any morning in my life and thought to myself, you know what I'd like to put in my hair today? Vaseline. Never thought that.
And that is the difference between me and you.
Yep, I'll second that. We just saw just a short clip of the show called The Pod Buster. And that's where we were asked if we liked chocolate. That was an interesting question.
Light Avian, which is a light bird, says.
Wait, you feel the need to define and analyze everybody.
I love usernames. It's like a point of expression.
You want to believe that you can read somebody's username and you can know so much about them.
It's like a haircut. Your username is like a haircut. And you know what? What really bothers me is when people pick a bad username, like
heavy on the numbers, light on the letters.
Life is great. 1999. Oh, what year did you come up with that username? Life is great, 1999. Don't put years in your username, because then we know what you're thinking.
Hold on.
It gets old the next year.
It's even worse to put years in your real name.
Yeah, my dad did that.
Unless you're a member of Outcast, and then it's pretty cool.
Well,
Pretty cool.
This light bird says, you are the ones that edit the commercials. Statement. Fact. So who edits the TV episodes?
Well, that's a convoluted question.
There is a team, people. There is a team of people who make this show a reality. How many people? Joke? How many people are we talking about?
Yeah.
Total. Yes.
And then move the decimal, whichever way you think it should move.
Yeah.
So 300?
300 people.
3 people.
30 people. About 30 people. You might be like, well, how? It's just you two guys and a camera. 30 people? How does that happen? It's like the DOT or something.
Exactly.
That's a very, very small television show. It's about as small of a television show as you can have. But anyway, that's what happens. We have 30 people making this show a reality.
Speaking
and their
of
names
that-
are at the end of the thing.
Speaking of that show, yeah, there's 30 of them, but they repeat a lot, so it seems like we got a lot going on. Right now, we are in the streets of a suburb of San Bernardino or something, like a neighboring town where we thought there might be more white women. And we're talking to white women and seeing, you know, just picking their brains about why they're not coming into Troy's spot.
Well, we went to a neighborhood that had a lot of coffee shops and Volvos, and I
like-
figured there would be a lot of white people.
Little black dresses and
Yeah.
like ceramic trinkets and
Yeah.
golf lessons.
There were people just giving golf lessons on every corner. We were like, there will be white people here.
Well, see, we can say all of this because, well, I hate to break it to you, but we are both white.
Yeah.
So we can say anything we want about us white
And
people.
you can't have a problem with it.
Right, but we were entering uncomfortable territory whenever we, you know, in tackling the challenge of the gauntlet, in running the gauntlet
The guillotine.
of, you know, making this commercial for Troy because, you know, keep watching, people. If you didn't watch this episode last week, it gets a little dicey. We start skating on a little thin white ice.
And this man right here, Dr. Freddie, the key to the success, I believe, of this entire endeavor is Dr. Freddie, because he said, listen, guys, I don't want to just get white women for you. Guys, your focus is too narrow. We need to expand your focus to all non-black women. Because we already reached black women, let's reach non-black women, and then by default, we reach all women. This was Dr. Freddie's idea. He brought us a woman from every continent. I don't know how he found them.
Now, I will say this. Okay, this is something you will not know by watching the show. We place a premium on this show being a documentary, okay? Really documenting what happens, but everything can't fit into the episode. So sometimes, especially, I mean, it's like total runtime of 22 minutes, 30 seconds.
Wow.
So, I mean, and
Exact.
it takes a lot longer than that for us to actually do everything that you see in the show. It's compressed. It's edited.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Oh, I'm sorry. But at one point, we knew we wanted to take Troy and we wanted to do some market research, man on the street type question and answer with white women. And our plan was to go door to door in the suburbs. And nobody, and what we didn't realize is that no one's going to answer their door because they think we're selling something.
Well, we pulled a van whenever you pull a van into a neighborhood and just park it on the street, people get nervous.
I mean,
You know, and that just,
we should have called the cops.
nobody with a van, in a van that does not have a label that says like construction or plumbing on it, in a neighborhood, it's up to no good. They're up to criminal activity.
Pet Crazy 1121 says, Dr. Freddie frightens me. Well, let me tell you, Dr. Freddie saved our entertainment lives because we're like going door to door. Troy is sitting in the van, and I just remember him saying to us, "Hey guys, I could make some phone calls." And we were like, "Well,
I know a doctor."
well, no," and we were like, "Well, hold on, we're trying to figure this out. What we're gonna do? You just relax." And then we couldn't figure anything else, and he's like, "I can make some phone calls." And then he's like, I was like, "Okay, who are you gonna call?" And he's like, "Dr. Freddie." Like literally, that's exactly what happened. And we were like, you know, as you see in the show, he's like Dr. Freddy, and it's like, who is this doctor? And then he comes to the rescue and brings the people that we ended up casting in the commercial. And then he shows up later at the end of this episode. He was supposed to show up, but then he didn't. And then he did at the last second and puts the whole commercial in perspective. I want you to pay attention whenever you see Dr. Freddy in this episode, because you're only going to see him again at the very end. Listen to what the man says and ask yourself, how would the whole episode be different? How would the complexion of the episode have changed?
Interesting.
If Dr. Freddy was not there. It'd be a different show.
Now, one of the things that we have received, you know, I think the first time we delved into the race issue with the Red House commercial, we received a lot of people saying, can you do that? Can you make a commercial that says that? This is racist. This is racist, guys. And in fact, we made a little vlog where we explained our perspective, and our perspective was that, no. It is not racist. It is racial. It involves the discussion of race. And we like getting into those things because we believe that the Red House commercial had a positive message. It was obviously funny and tongue-in-cheek in a lot of ways, but it got people talking. It started a conversation. And that was the same thing that we wanted to do. We wanted people to start a conversation about race that revolved around the Spot Hair Studio, because we want to bring Troy and Troy Spot business. But we also thought it's just a way to talk about these things, because people are so afraid to talk about things that just, I'm going to say the wrong thing. I might offend somebody. Well, you saw, has that happened on the episode yet where we had to be pulled back?
No, that's about to happen.
This perfect segue for you, Link.
Jack and Shaw Productions, I think I've already answered one of his questions, but you must have good questions.
Hold on, I was making a point, and then you just...
How much work goes into making a commercial? Oh. In bringing up your point.
Oh, okay.
In embellishing your point. Okay. I would say a lot of work goes into making these commercials. You know, we did the Man on the Street. We talked to women. We go back to talk to white women. We meet Dr. Freddy and all the women that he brought for us to potentially put in the commercial. Then we go back and have the brainstorming sessions that you just saw before the commercial break. And then it's like, we're exhausted. It's the end of the day. We had to go back to the hotel room and take everything that we learned that night and say, you know what? As long as it takes, we're going to write a jingle tonight. We're going to script this entire commercial. And if it's not, I mean, I remember laying down on the edge of my bed and falling asleep as you were writing down the script for this commercial. Because I also had cornrows that had to be taken out, and that made an even later night. By the time the cornrows came out.
Painful just to watch.
Almost as painful as
just like your fall that we just saw there on the television.
Yeah. So this is the next day. We're back at Troy's Spot, and you know, we didn't show you the footage of us wringing our brains out trying to come up with what we were going to say and who we were going to have do what in this commercial.
But we came up with this angle to just throw it out there to say, listen, let's just talk
like a gauntlet
bluntly about race in this commercial to start a conversation. And we're not going to say anything necessarily offensive, but we're just going to talk about race, because why don't you want to talk about it? What's so scary about it?
And you know, Troy was on board. I mean, hey, non-black ladies, can I be real with you? You know, that's the opening line of the commercial, and he understood that if you want to get something done, you got to hit it head on. You've only got 60 seconds or maybe 30 seconds. I think we ended up making this commercial 90 seconds. Okay? That's our prerogative. Get over it.
Well, 13 IRJ says, okay, so are the commercial ideas yours? Well, yes, they come from something specifically that we learned in the episode. Like, we learned that Troy wanted to reach white women, and we expanded that to all non-black women because he's already reaching black women. But then how are we going to do that? What is the actual script going to be? How are we going to deliver this? How are we going to get this woman to put a snake around her neck like we're about to do in this scene? That's our idea. That's where we come in. Yes, so the commercial ideas, they are formed from the things we learned, but we come up with them, turn them into reality. Now, this was an exciting thing because I feel like Thenia, the woman in this scene.
Tell them what the thing is if they're not seeing it.
This is a python, which is a snake, which is a reptile. This is a non-venomous?
Venomous.
Or venomous if you're in France. Snake that is a constrictor, meaning it will
I didn't mean to go into, like, all this like biological detail. I just meant tell him
This woman
we
thought
have a snake
that all
and a woman,
snakes were poisonous.
and we're making a commercial.
All snakes are poisonous. She's only using one eye to look at it, as if that's going to protect her from.
If
this
it's going to
deadly snake.
strike, she wants it to strike the eyelid, not the eye.
I would keep the eye closest to the snake close like this.
I did not touch the snake. I don't know if you ever noticed, but I never touched that snake.
Well, you're scared of snakes. That's okay. You and Thenia.
I think they smell funny too.
They do not smell good, especially when they're in a terrarium for a long period of time. Just ask my brother.
How long was he in a terrarium?
Bubble boy.
My
My brother is a bubble boy.
Most terrariums are like rectangular, though. What would you call it? Anyway, sometimes you gotta let it. You gotta know when to let a joke go. That one just went. Okay.
Hey, and Baby Infinity says, I will resist the urge to comment on our username. I never really thought about the difference between racist and racial, but now that I think about it, they are both pretty different. Well, thanks.
They're very different when you think about it, but you don't have to think about it. Cassidy's The Name asks, how long does it take to record your jingles? Okay, the jingle in this one was, okay, of course, we didn't write this jingle. The massagists wrote this jingle. And she actually wrote a whole lot more, but we just kept the part that we liked. Because her jingle was, if your head is a wreck and your back is a mess, better come to the spot that's...
Work it all out.
It's Troy's spot.
It's not just a spot. It's Troy's spot. Hallelujah.
And then we all laughed, and then we were like, we got to use that. So then we went back, and we went back to the hotel room that night, and we got a beat. Let's see. And we kind of created that beat. And then we just sang the jingle in our heads, but we didn't actually record it because we didn't have time. We had to script the thing.
We're going to come back to that, but right here is when we almost offended everyone.
With Snowflake.
This is really weird because we almost offended white people via black people being offended by the things that we said about white people, and we are white people.
Well, speak for yourself. Now, I will say this. Snowflake,
This is next week here on Commercial Kings.
I'm going to finish one thought before you point at the television and just come up with another thought.
Okay. That's what people say.
We did know that snowflake was a potentially offensive term. But it's not a question of was it offensive or not. It was a question of how offensive. And we thought it was very little. We didn't know that, their sensitivity to it was so great. Especially when we wanted her to say, this is a white lady. I did her hair. I call it the snowflake because she's one of a kind. It's like once you say she's one of a kind, it kind of takes the edge off of it, we thought. But, I mean, the racist alarms were going off in there. And I'm glad they did, Like we said in the episode, it was a learning experience for you, probably.
I learned a lot,
And me.
Link.
And me. It's good. Sometimes you've got to cross the line to know where it is, or you've got to throw some dust out there into the chasm to see where the steps are. Do you get the reference? You get the reference?
Absolutely.
Okay. Tony, do you get the reference? Does anyone out there in live internet land get the reference? In order to know where the line is, you got to throw some dust out there on the chasm.
That's interesting.
Do you get the reference?
Yeah, I've saw Lord of the Rings, man.
I've saw Lord of the Rings.
I'm trying to get
That's
this
wrong in so many ways.
Get this to stop so I can answer this guy's question, because he says, Tim the Beecher.
How often do you guys get frustrated with the people you're working with? Wow, really, man? Asks. I think we expend so much frustration on each other that we have very little left over to donate towards
other people.
Towards other people.
Well, that's what Tim the Beach Hammer.
That's a good thing.
Tim the Beach Hammer. That's just a bad username.
Next time you get that close to the camera, I'm just gonna grab the back of your head and just go bam.
Speaking of that, do you guys ever get tired of each other or need the occasional personal space time? Listen, we are not even friends. Can you not figure this out, people? This is a professional relationship. I don't even know what Link's last name is. I don't even know where he lives. I know nothing about his personality other than the fake one that he puts on to be a part of this duo that we call Rhett and Link that was formed in a studio by this agent like 5 years ago. We created a backstory. We said we were best friends since first grade. Should I not be telling them this?
I didn't even know this.
We created this whole story about how we met in first grade and we've been best friends ever since.
It's bursting my emotional bubble.
It was all fake to get you people to tune in to this show.
No.
That's the great. You know the great thing about the internet is because
this is fake. What you're saying right now.
No,
is fake.
but the thing about the internet is sarcasm is not taught in schools anymore. Sarcasm, if something happened with the public education system and they quit teaching sarcasm, so people think that what I just said is true, and they're gonna they're gonna go to our Wikipedia entry and change it to say that it's all fake.
Red and I both minored in sarcasm in college, so we are friends. But yeah, it's good to have some space, you know. Whatever. We take some space on the weekends.
Yeah, but we were like at a fencing class today together.
Right. Yeah, but it was.
What's up with that?
But we were fighting each other.
We were, and you got me once, and I got you once.
We stay on opposite ends of an apartment complex. We don't live in the same apartment room. But we do live in the same apartment building. But I'm on the bottom floor in the south end, and he's on the top floor on the north end. So he gets the sun at the beginning of. Is it the west end? Forget it.
It's hotter in my apartment. That's all I know.
Forget it. You should open your windows or something. Okay, this is really deteriorated. Boy, we need
to get back to the episode because this is the moment of truth. This is when we are best friends. Yes, we like each other a lot. This is how people talk to each other when they've been friends for 25 years.
We're just having fun, people.
Okay.
Lighten up.
Get over it.
The guy who's dancing in Troy's commercial is Troy's son. He's doing this popping. Is that a pop and lock?
Pop and squat.
Not a pop and squat.
He's doing the old pop and squat.
Pop and squat or pop a lock. Did anybody in the chat room get my my illusion? You know, I'm disappointed if no one did. The one about the dust and the chasm.
Indiana
Look at this
Jones,
spine.
man. Indiana Jones.
Why are you telling them the answer?
I know. I was joking about Lord of the Rings.
Look at this Mexican lady. I call this
The
Cinco de Mayo My.
The Last Crusade, man. The last good movie from Indiana Jones.
It's not The Last Crusade. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark, man.
I think it's Last Crusade. It is. It's because he figures out Jehovah on the puzzle pieces, and
Really?
he figures out it starts with an X or an X.
But he throws the dust over the chasm. Help me out, people in the chat room.
Dude, that's Last Crusade. Sean Connery was there. I know it. Not the guy with taking the heart out.
No, that was Temple of Doom.
Oh,
What? I love it when Troy sees his commercial. His reaction is, what? It's just like, I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. It was like, I had to look around for like cues from the room there.
All right, hold on.
Like, is that some sort of alarm that he's about to like break out some sort of ninjutsu on us?
All right. What? Get these guys out of here.
Yeah. And then Dr. Freddy, with his words of wisdom, people, here it is. If you're watching.
I mean, this man is eloquent, you know, and he says all the right things at all the right times.
Robin Dufio says Link is wrong. It's The Last Crusade. Or you know what? You know, I could be wrong. Or everyone else could be wrong. Or maybe I just saw an alternate version. Or maybe it's in both movies.
Nico D.
Maybe it's in
Angelos
Raiders of the
is
Lost Ark.
awesome. Says, do you really enjoy making these commercials? Yes, we love making these commercials. It's our job. Somebody else asked, is this your full-time job? Well, yeah, it is. It has been for the last few months. And we officially wrapped shooting the last episode of Commercial Kings, last week?
Certainly.
So this is episode number 4. There are 6 more episodes to come in season 1. I think that takes you through the end of August.
Let me take this opportunity to encourage you guys to go over to locos.ifc.com. That's locos.ifc.com. You can still nominate your favorite local commercial from your area, not one we've made, but one that you love. Or if you don't want to nominate, and if you also want to vote, you can also vote. So what you need to do is go over there, vote for your favorite commercials in all these different categories. Once it gets down to the top 3 in each group, in just a couple of weeks. So, I mean, we're down to just a couple of weeks on this thing, I think. Or is it the whole season? I don't know when it is, but you need to go over there today, people. You can enter for a chance to win $250.
What could you do with that? You could do lots of things with $250.
If you have any other questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat room. We'll go on for another few minutes
While
here.
Link is looking at a couple of last questions to answer, I will say thank you for tuning in to Commercial Kings Live. What this is we have been sitting down and watching the encore presentation of our episode that starts live at 10:30. If this is not between 10:30 and 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, this is no longer live. We will post this video so you can watch it over and over again. I don't know why. It's better to watch it live, let me tell you that right now. But we encourage you, continue to find ways to find IFC and watch the show because we are really happy with how it turned out.
Next week is pro wrestling.
Yeah, next week we go to Pro Wrestling School. You can go over to our Facebook page and I actually just tweeted out a couple of minutes ago the preview for what you're going to get next week. Let me put it to you this way. I learned how to suplex somebody.
And I always thought it was souflex.
Now, that's a cooking term.
And then come back here. This time next week, we'll be talking about the taxidermy episode. Chuck Testa, the taxidermist, is one of my most favorite people that I made a commercial for. And I can't wait to watch the episode again with you people. So be back here. Fridays, all summer long. You know, we still got a whole pocket full of episodes for you. And I mean, I've got deep pockets. I know you've heard about that.
Really? Fat Mime, a good friend Renee, says, how are the ribs? Those were some good ribs.
They were amazing.
Troy is really good with hair, but he's also really good with ribs, and he keeps them separate. He doesn't put hair in the actual food.
They were amazing. They were amazing. They were amazing. 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 Amazing.
That is a reference to
amazing.
The recently released Harry Potter song, Amazing.
Troy's ribs changed my life.
Anybody seen the new Harry Potter music video that we put out? We put it out yesterday.
We put it out. Put it out there like a gauntlet.
Yeah, like a baby.
Put it out there like Michael Jackson's baby.
A lot of
Remember
you guys, I almost dropped it off the balcony. The difference between
kind
us,
of awkward.
The difference between us and Michael Jackson is that we just took the baby and just threw it into the internet,
which makes us heroes.
Yes, it does.
Okay, in wrapping up tonight, I will read that Mel N. Ozzy says, good job, guys. Now, have you seen the new Harry Potter? Just watching Macadol's vlog about it is good enough for me. It was free. I didn't have to pay like $10. We're in LA now. I mean, you got to pay like upwards of $10.
$50
to
a
watch
movie
a
or
film.
something.
To watch a film.
I will say this. I saw half of the first Harry Potter.
Now, everyone who watched our Harry Potter video, who's now watching, and they liked us because of the Harry Potter video, is now hating us.
Oh, they didn't stay. They didn't stay on this long.
They've gone.
They've gone. They've gone now, so they don't mind. If you're watching IFC right now, Young, Broken, Beautiful is on. He's talking to a vampire with blue fingernails. I didn't make this up. It's on television.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap this up. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to say some parting words here, which include thanks, hello, keep it real, and be your mythical best.
Why did you say hello?
Because some people were late, and they're just now joining us.
Hello.
I just said my parting words. Now you say yours. Be sure to tune in next week.
We appreciate you. We really do. If I could give you
a tennis ball,
some morsel of food through a cord that would come out into your laptop, I would do it. But that is not possible yet. It will be in the year 2051.
Good night.